What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and today I want to talk a little about the rise of Skywalker and about another story from the expanded universe that, based on everything we're seeing from the trailer and the leaks and all that, that they're kind of going to be using. And if you're familiar with the expanded universe, you probably know what I'm going to talk about. I don't think we're really getting into any spoilers in this, so you should be fine to listen just because they've pretty much advertised it in the marketing and in the trailers that this is the line that they're going. Now, if you're familiar with the expanded universe and a fan of the expanded universe, when it was kind of thrown away in 2014, you probably heard a lot of people that were defending that decision, saying, good, there were a bunch of terrible stories in it. Oh, there was a bunch of stuff that didn't make any sense. And one story in particular always seemed to come up for some reason. I don't know why that is, but it's Dark Empire. Now, I actually have it right here. I have the whole thing. This is a heavy book because it's all comics. It's pretty thin pages. But yeah, not my favorite story by any stretch of the imagination. Not my favorite artwork, but it is part of the expanded universe. It was kind of one of the first things, a little bit after Timothy Zahn's trilogy. It came out. It was set after it in the timeline as well. And the story is basically Palpatine coming back in a way. Now, it's important to note that George Lucas was incredibly influential in the decision to bring Palpatine back, but he was also very specific that it needed to be as a clone, that it couldn't be, Palpatine was just alive or anything like that. Because when he was approached to do this, this comic series, they wanted it to be someone in Vader's armor, walking around with this suspicion that, wow, could Vader still be alive somehow? Does that make any sense? And he shut it down. He did not want them to use Vader, but he was okay with them bringing Palpatine back through cloning, and that's what happened. So Palpatine did die, as he was thrown down that shaft, that explosion of blue light. That's the dark side energy being released from that body, because we saw that happen. That wasn't just random. That was because his body was torn to pieces and he died. But his spirit, Palpatine was obsessed with immortality, and he had learned a ritual of essence transfer, essentially. And he had clones grown of him, and, just before his physical body, perished, he transferred his spirit, his essence, into the clones. And it wasn't quite him. The clones aren't meant to contain that kind of thing. So he was still in search of the perfect body that could really contain all his dark side energy, and that's kind of one of the underlying plots of Dark Empire. And one of the things that happened is Luke ends up, going there and facing the Emperor again, and actually fighting him in combat. So although Vader obviously kills him, basically starts the fall of the Empire right there, and Vader's redeemed, Luke is able to kind of do his part and finish him off and actually fight him in single combat, as a young version of himself. Like I said, not my favorite storyline, but it's fairly interesting. What I think is silly, right, is how we're reacting to this Rise of Skywalker, which Palpatine is going to be in the Rise of Skywalker. We've seen it in the marketing. We've seen it in the trailers, him talking. But he's not going to be as a clone. It's just going to be him. He's still alive somehow. He somehow survived falling down that shaft and the Death Star exploding. I don't know how. It doesn't make any sense. And when you don't have him die at all, to me, it really lessens Vader's sacrifice. It lessens the entire culmination of Episode 6. And I can see where you say, what's the difference between clones and him actually living? To me, there's a big difference. But maybe it's not to you. I'm not sure. And it just doesn't seem right. But what seems even sillier is all the people that are okay with it, right? That, oh my gosh, Palpatine's coming back. When, years before, 5 years before, some of these same people in the media were bashing Dark Empire, like, oh, thank God we got rid of that, right? Thank God we got rid of that story from the bloated, expanded universe. But you keep ripping stuff from it. Like, this is basically, without him being a clone, it's basically the plot, right? Palpatine's back. You all thought it was so silly when it was in the expanded universe, but now you love it. We also have something else that seems to be pulled from, things in the expanded universe that's also in the Clone Wars. We have this dagger that you can see Rey holding. This dagger that's floating around, they're calling it the Sith dagger or something. Is that the dagger of Mortis? I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't think that all has been revealed, right? Even in the leaks. If you want to go look at the leaks, go look at them. I think it seems silly, but I just can't imagine that Abrams doesn't have something up his sleeve, just a gotcha moment. It doesn't mean it's going to be any good. It's, I have no interest. I have no belief that this movie is going to be good at all. But I can't imagine that that's all it is, that it's just Palpatine alive. There's got to be more to it than that. But we'll see. I just wanted to kind of point out that double standard and talk about how the EU did it differently and how I prefer what the EU did, vice, having him still be alive, having, them miss the mark. Everyone thought that, they got rid of him, but they were wrong for 40 years. But let me know what you guys think. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. Dark Empire is kind of a controversial book in the expanded universe. A lot of people don't like it. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan. But when you have something that's got so many stories in comics, you're bound to have stuff that not everybody agrees upon and that not everybody thinks is great. So what do you guys think about Dark Empire? Is that a way that makes a little more sense? A ritual of essence transfer. We've heard of spirits, especially dark side spirits, when you look at the KOTOR and the SWOTOR eras, being able to kind of possess people or transfer their essence into people, control people. So I think that makes a little more sense to be able to transfer his essence into a clone than it does for him to just be alive somehow. Basically get the Darth Maul treatment. Somehow you should have been dead, but somehow you're alive. You're just mad enough, I guess, that you're alive. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a special thank you to all my incredible patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to check me out on Twitter or Instagram, or send something to my P.O. box? All the links are in the description. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.